Okay, we are going live here. Mic check.
Boppity boopy?
Okay, we are going live here. Mic check. Mic check.
Mic check. Aha. See
Okay,
what you did
you
there.
sound good. Alright. Pretty clear. What's that?
Yeah, I see what you did there.
Yeah. This is going to be interesting because I don't know about you, man, but I am freaking... I only got like 4 hours of sleep last night, and I am like running on coffee fumes right now.
Oh, I had a good night's sleep last night.
Oh, you son of a... I usually sleep okay where I was, because I can crash overnights when I work at this particular house. But I usually get like 6.5, 7 hours sleep. This was just I could not go to sleep. So running on fumes, but we'll get this. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
So welcome everyone. I'm OddSmith311. OddSmith311.
I am EvilPenguinGaming, and this is WWE Clash of Champions 2017 review.
Now, if you're joining us now, we're coming to you live like almost 10 minutes. The show just went off.
Yeah, it's just like not even 20 minutes ago.
So we're gonna bring this to you guys now while it's fresh in our head, and this will be a good precursor for the Royal Rumble coming up in January. This is something we want to start trying to do after all these events, and eventually even more. We've had talks of starting a wrestling podcast, which I'd like to start getting more of a solid idea for that, because I think that's a good idea. Even if it just starts off being a couple times a month or something.
Right.
We've had some. There's always been some good ideas for some topics, so yeah, keep an eye on that for the. Follow us at TG Wrestling on Facebook, and Lowe's Guys 734 on Twitter to keep up with any updates and whatnot with that. So I think to kick this off, I'll let you. Let me see here. I didn't catch the kickoff show, but it was it Mojo Rawley and Zack Ryder?
Yeah, but before that, because there's always all the talk, all the interviews, and the whatnots before everything. Natalya cannot deliver a promo to save her life.
Man,
Period.
I'm so glad you said that, because that's going to come into play here in a little bit.
Yeah.
That whole line of discussion.
You have to go back and watch the kickoff show. If you don't do it tonight, do it tomorrow, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay, I'm curious now, because that's funny.
But,
yeah.
Yeah, Mojo Rawley versus Zack Ryder. 2017 was the year for WWE to break up tag teams. They broke up a ton of tag teams this year, and I hate it. But I'll tell you, number one, I am really, really digging Mojo Rawley's new music. I can't wait for it to be released so I can grab it on iTunes or whatever. But yeah, I was hoping they would show, if you can find this, Mojo Rawley put up a Twitter video delivering a promo against Zack Ryder on, I believe it was Wednesday. Best promo I've ever seen him cut. He is going to do so many good things as a heel. I really, really believe that. I think he's going to skyrocket. I cannot wait to see his future. And I would guess that it's his new finisher, but my God, what a forearm. Rawley won by delivering a huge forearm to Ryder in the corner. And Ryder just collapsed.
Like the old House of Cards, huh?
Pretty much. I mean, it was an absolute thing of beauty. I loved it. But, I mean, it certainly was a pre-show quality match. It wasn't anything spectacular. And I feel like we've already spent too much time on it.
Oh yeah, I figured it wasn't even on the main. to reiterate, it wasn't even on the main show. I had seen it listed as part of the main show, and I kind of had a feeling that it was going to end up, you know, on the chopping block. So I guess it's not on the chopping block; it's on the pre-show. I guess that's not fair, but I knew it wasn't going to be on the main show. Let me put it that way.
Right.
And unfortunately, I didn't get to catch the pre-show. That's why I figured out that you handle that one because I know I know you dig Mojo Rawley. I dig Zack Ryder too. I wish better things for him. Hopefully, someday he gets the success somewhere he deserves.
Yeah.
But I will check that promo out, and I'll share it on Twitter once I find that to everybody. Twitter and Facebook.
It was awful.
Was it?
It was so bad. So, getting into the main show, we had the triple threat match for the United States Championship between champion Baron Corbin defending against Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler. And, of course, Bobby Roode's entrance was, as always, glorious.
Always.
Because that song is just absolutely amazing.
It is, dude. I tell you what, man, I loved him in TNA. And like a lot of those wrestlers, there's a big gap where I just didn't see them for so long until they popped back up in NXT. And I know he was doing stuff the whole time. And tonight, watching him, I'm like, man, I kind of wanted him to win that match to get a belt because my brother said it best, dude. He reminds me of like a classic, like early 90s kind of like everything he does is kind of slightly exaggerated. But it's in a good way, like for a wrestler. And like, dude, when he took that, I forgot who hit him with some move in the back, and he was just like arched off the mat. He sold the shit out of it. I'm like, man, just everything he did is just like had some kind of meaning to it.
Well, I've seen Bobby Roode described, and I think it's absolutely correct, as Ric Flair's look with Triple H's intensity.
That's fair.
It's totally accurate, especially when he hits that spine buster. Because it is just beautiful.
All those moves, man, like that DDT, everything he does has an extra like oomph to it.
And it's always so smooth.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
You can just see him like aiming a shot, and he just everything he did, it just has that extra little movement to it, and which is not to crap on Baron Corbin or Dolph Ziggler. I thought it was a pretty good match.
Oh, it was a great match, and I just realized the two opening matches between the Rawley Ryder match and this match contained the past two Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal winners. I'm just saying.
Well, Corbin won the last one, right?
Well, Rawley won WrestleMania 33, and Corbin won WrestleMania 32.
Oh, I completely forgot about Rawley winning. Whoops.
Well, yeah, because he had Gronk out there at ringside and whatever. But, nobody predicted Dolph Ziggler coming up with an absolutely shocking win.
No, I had Corbin, although part of me was going, man, this would be the perfect opportunity for Roode to get some kind of like foot in the door. I kind of started leaning more toward him. I just thought Dolph Ziggler was in there for, like you said, for a cannon fodder.
To take the pin.
Yeah. And I liked the ending too. They had a couple really good spots in that match. The power bomb suplex combination, that was beautiful.
The Tower of Doom.
Yeah. Anytime I see something like that, man, I'm like, yes! The little kid in me just screams out.
Right.
And the way they did the zigzag while he was going into the end of days, I thought that was they pulled that off really well.
Yeah, that was pretty smooth.
Now, where do you see them going with this now? You think they're going to keep that same, like maybe Bobby Roode's off Ziggler keep going? I'm sure Corbin's going to be in there for the rematch.
Yeah, Corbin will get his rematch. I don't think he'll get the title back. I think maybe they'll keep the title on Ziggler for a bit. I wouldn't be mad if they kept it on him until WrestleMania.
Well, I mean, Christ, man, everyone wants him to have a belt. It's the kind of thing that really makes you wonder what goes on behind the scenes on both sides of it. You got to make you wonder: is Ziggler doing something that we just don't see and just being a complete douche? Are they just completely putting their foot on his neck and just, you know what I mean? It's so hard to tell because he's so talented. He gets such a good reaction.
And I think that's why he won tonight. I think maybe they're just finally turning the corner on him again, and they'll keep the belt on for a while. That's what I want to see. I've been a fan of Ziggler for a very long time. Simply, I don't even care about his character. I love his in-ring work.
Oh, dude, I mean, there's not a lot of people in the WWE that work like him anymore. I mean, it just...
No, absolutely not.
That's why I think I would have rather seen, like... Well, we'll get to this in a little bit, but I would have rather seen, like, Dolph Ziggler, AJ Styles. You know what I mean?
Oh, that would be incredible.
Do nothing at all. And like I said, we'll get to that in a little bit, because that was one of the few times I've seen Jinder wrestle so far. And we'll get to that in a little while. But, yeah, that was a good match, man. I dug it. I was actually kind of excited for this one, just because I like all the people involved in it.
Right. Oh, so, next.
Right, next is the Tag Team Fatal 4-Way.
Oh, happy Rusev Day, buddy. I love Rusev and Aiden English. I cannot speak highly enough about Rusev and Aiden English and the tag team they have formed and that gimmick. My God, it's wonderful.
It's a weird mixture. Do you know how they got, like, how they ended up as a tag team?
I mean, behind the scenes, no. But, I mean, if you go back the past few weeks on SmackDown, I don't really remember how it happened. I'm just glad that it did.
Well, yeah, because who was Aiden English? He was part of the Vaudevillains, right?
Yeah, but that was until Simon Gotch got released.
Okay, I was going to say, I wasn't sure what had happened to him, because I liked that tag team. I thought it was an interesting gimmick. It was weird.
Yeah, that probably happened during your downtime.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was... And that wasn't even really, like, completely voluntary. A lot of that was just being busy, man, kind of losing track of the...
Oh, yeah.
The product, and I'm trying to get caught up. I'm trying to watch... I'm trying to review on older stuff, and I've been going back and watching, like, random pay-per-views from, like, the time periods where it's almost like a black hole, where it's like... I know about things that happen around then, like big events. But you didn't
actually see them happen.
Yeah, like there's a lot of things I hear talked about all the time, but I didn't really see, and just a lot of feuds and stuff that I kind of peripherally saw. I'd like to go back and explore, you know. And
right.
Because there's some areas where I just know so much stuff, and there's some areas where I either can't remember, or I just don't know. Shit, you know, like it's frustrating.
So. This match, I didn't really like the flow of the match with the four guys in the ring the whole time.
Yeah.
And the random tags. I didn't care too much for the flow of the match. But getting toward the end of the match, when freaking Chad Gable was going suplex crazy.
Ah, yes.
I loved that spot. I tweeted on our TGW Twitter account, Chad Gable is superhuman.
Yeah, when he hit Big E, man, that's a lot of meat.
And he hit Rusev before that. I mean, my God, the guy, it was like Superman out there.
Well, I tell you what, I thought. From the camera angle when it first happened, when he hit Simon Gotch with
Aiden English.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna start doing that all the time now. When he hit Aiden English with that the German suplex from the angle, it looked like he, instead of bringing him back on his neck or like on his back and his neck. It looked like he spiked him on his head.
I thought that too.
Well, yeah, when they replayed it, you could see that it was close. It was snug, but it wasn't.
A high angle German suplex is what they were saying.
Yeah. I guess that's that was probably in the relief of him not having a broken neck, because
right.
I could have swore, man, the way that he put him down, I'm like, oh shit, because the way he rolled out, I'm like, well, is he hurt or is he just selling, you know? And
right.
Fortunately, he wasn't hurt. So, because wasn't he the one, or was it Gotch? There was a little while back, but there was a pay-per-view match that opened a tag team match that opened a pay-per-view, and someone, I think it was Enzo, threw one of those guys, like they were gonna throw him under the rope, but he didn't slide the right way, and he slammed off the mat and like instantly passed out. Do you remember this?
I remember that match.
I can't remember if it was Gotch or English.
I don't remember. I do remember the match, but I don't remember which one it was.
I remember feeling so bad because that was like the opening match, and that was like within.
Yeah, it was early in the match.
Yeah, like right after the match started, I was like, ooh, not good.
Oh, so the Usos come away with the win on this. I'm okay with it. I don't want to see the Usos go up against the New Day again, because we saw that all summer.
Yeah.
And it's done. What I would really love to see is, with the outcome of the later tag match, the Usos go into a program with the Bludgeon Brothers.
I'm sure that's where they're gonna, or maybe not the Usos, whoever ends up the champion, but it would be cool to see the Usos go against those guys.
Well, with the Usos being the champions right now, I think that's the route they have to take. Because, I mean, there's no tag teams left.
No.
There was the 4 tag teams in the match, and then Breezango and the Bludgeon Brothers in the later tag match. There's no other, I mean, who do you have? The Colognes? What have they done? Nothing. They're not even on TV.
I mean, there's I don't know if they've had a lot of matches on TV or stuff, but like I thought Gable and Benjamin can be a good tag team if they find good personality chemistry, because they're both really good wrestlers.
Oh, they're solid. They're a legit team, because Benjamin came in after Jason Jordan went to go see Fake Dad over on Raw.
Daddy time.
Yeah. But yeah, they're an actual established team, but I just feel like everybody except Aiden English and Rusev have been through the ringer with the Usos. I feel like the Usos have gone against them all, and it's old now. They got to do something to freshen up that tag division.
Yeah, man, because Christ, they don't even have Heath Slater and Rhino anymore now, do they? As a tag
No, they're on Raw.
Oh, that's right. I forgot they did it. Okay. Well, that's what's gonna. Do you know when the next draft is? Like, how often do they?
It probably won't be until after WrestleMania.
Because I think that's what it's ultimately going to come down to, man. Is unless they can find a way to freshen up these tag team feuds, I get the belts on somebody else even. I mean, but yeah, like you said, to get to an effective title change, it's going to have to be someone like the Bludgeon Brothers, who they haven't wrestled a million times and who pose a legitimate threat.
Right.
Or seemingly pose a legitimate threat.
Yeah, it's got to be. Oh, so up next we had.
Look, I'm sorry. Can I say one more thing about that last match? Because this bugged the shit out of me. Did they say it was no disqualification, no count out?
I don't recall, but Fatal 4-Ways usually are.
Because this is my problem with that match. Okay. First of all, having the guys in the ring at the same time, it sounds like it could be cool.
It was just chaos.
it was just like two matches going on at the same time. They weren't even like interacting with each other. That was the weird
Right.
part about it.
Yeah.
But this is what drove me freaking nuts about it. If there's no disqualification and no count out, why wasn't everybody just in the match?
I know. I agree.
Second of all, there's a shot. Okay, when Uso's going to make the pin, you can see in the foreground or the background, you can see Xavier Woods just like looking in terror. And I'm sitting there thinking, jump in the ring and grab him off. It's no disqualification. It bugged and it's very rare, very very rare for me to have those kind of like moments of like, come on, like I can usually suspend disbelief pretty well. But
I mean, with New Day, the reason that didn't happen is because it would have been a heel move. I mean, legit. That's the reason that didn't happen. Because if they were to do a heel move, I mean, WWE just won't have that right now.
No.
That's just the long and short of that. But no, I totally understand what you're saying.
It just crawled under my skin the entire time. It's like, why don't they all just get in there and start fighting?
Right.
I don't know.
So next up.
Okay, yeah.
Next up, we had the women's championship match with Charlotte defending against Natalya in a Lumberjill match. I don't care if they kept saying it was a Lumberjack match. It was a Lumberjill match. It's always been a Lumberjill match when it's women.
Now, is that the first one they've had in WWE? Because I thought I heard them say that, and that seemed like weird.
No.
I was going to say, I thought they had some back in the day at least.
No, there's been plenty of them. One of my notes here is Byron Saxton and Corey Graves banter during this match.
Yes.
I mean, going along with what you were just saying about suspending disbelief, I cannot stand listening to babyface Byron Saxton.
Dude, I'm so glad. I hate Byron Saxton. I think he's horrible, dude.
It's awful. I mean, yes, he's doing his job. I get that. He's doing his job well. I get that. Because he's making me not want to listen to him. Okay, you're doing your job well. But when Corey comes back on him, I just love it. But, I mean, you had this whole thing about, oh, look what they're going to do. Look what the Lumberjacks are going to do. Look, they're not going against Natalya. They're only going against Charlotte. Of course. Charlotte only had Naomi out there. What do you think is going to happen?
And that whole, I'm going to be honest, man, that whole match, not impressed. I didn't like the commentary. I didn't like, God, I made a couple notes here. Okay, Lana and this other, I cannot think of her name. I think she's someone who just came up from NXT or still in NXT. She was like in brown.
Oh, that's Sarah Logan.
Those two, they caught my eye. Lana was like trying to act like she was beating the shit out of her. And this other woman was just not, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if you remember what I'm talking about. Like, it's like she was selling it, but instead of like turning around and fighting Lana, she just kept trying to go after someone else. So Lana was hitting her, and she was like, ugh, and then acting like Lana was. I was like, what the hell are you guys doing? Like, and Lana just kept wailing on her, and it looked horrible. And I'm like, man.
I'm going to have to go back and watch that, because I missed that.
They were all in front of the table, and Lana's just like, I shouldn't say Lana's horrible, because it was more the other woman not. If someone was hitting you this way, you would turn around and fight them. Or at the very least, get them the hell off you. You know what I mean? Like,
it sounds like Sarah Logan just wasn't paying attention.
Yes.
Or close enough attention to everything that was going on.
Yeah, that's the more Reader's Digest, yes.
The Reader's Digest version. I like that.
That's often necessary when I'm around.
So, okay, yeah, this match is a throwaway. It really wasn't that great. But I liked And I just said Natalia can't deliver a promo, and this promo afterward was still just as bad.
Dude, Natalia sucks. I don't like her. I've never liked her. She's horrible in the ring, dude. I'm watching her. I'm just like, this isn't like some new chick that just came up from NXT. This is like Bret Hart's.
10 years.
Yeah.
She even said it on that promo. 10 years. You'd think that after 10 years, you'd be able to deliver a promo that's actually going to engage me, make me want to listen to you. I can't stand listening to Natalia speak. I've never been able to stand it.
No. That fake ass crying she was doing when she was walking out.
Oh my God, that was horrible. My wife even said that is so fake. That is so bad. Like, yup, you're right.
Like, when she was in the ring and she started crying, okay, that looked legit. Like, I was, but yeah, when she was walking down the ramp, and I was like, dude, come on. Just stop.
It was just so bad. Yeah, we're done talking about that because it was just awful.
The only other thing I wrote down, two things. One, Naomi's awesome. I just want to throw that in there. That splash, dude. She's really good. Every time she does something, she hits. That I've seen. I'm sure she's fucked up before, but. And what was the other thing? I liked the Money in the Bank tease.
Oh yeah, I loved that.
That was neat. Like, it was kind of like, oh my God, she could. Oh, okay, never mind.
That was the high spot of the match for me.
Yeah. I don't know what that says about the rest of the match.
Yeah, the high spot of the match was delivered by somebody who wasn't actually in the match. But, whatever.
Dude, Carmella's fucking bad.
We had
your boys.
Breezango and the Bludgeon Brothers. Now, you haven't, because they were really during your downtime. You don't really know a lot about this feud, am I right?
Right.
Okay, so 6 months ago, have you seen any Fashion File skits?
Heard about them, haven't actually seen them. But that was even just recently.
So, 6 months ago, Breezango started this Fashion File stuff on SmackDown. If you want to spend some time, go back and just look at the Fashion File skits on the past 6 months of SmackDown.
Are they good?
They are so funny.
Because you're not the only person I've heard talking about them. They've actually seen a lot of people like, no, don't get rid of... I'm like, oh, I just assumed because it was those two that it was probably be bad, but hey.
No, dude, I mean, a lot of weeks, it was the high spot of the show.
Really?
It's so funny. It's so incredibly campy that it's what makes it entertaining. But they started this case back 6 months ago, and the whole premise of the case was to be, which led to 6 months down the line, the Bludgeon Brothers. To be. Which, I mean, you want to talk about long-term booking at its best?
Yeah.
My God.
Shit, man. I mean...
6 months.
I'm kind of glad to see him do stuff like that, because it seems like anymore, they do more of that off-the-cuff, by the seat of their pants kind of stuff, and it's...
It was fun. I loved it. But, and I love Breezango, but oh my God, the Bludgeon Brothers. I've been a fan of Harper and Rowan since they debuted with Bray Wyatt. I've been a fan of the Wyatt family for years now. But I think this is the best that Harper and Rowan have looked.
Oh, dude. I mean, they've really come into their own. I've always liked Harper. I always thought Harper was pretty good. Rowan, he's come a long way, man. Because when he first came in,
right,
he was bad. I mean, not even bad like, oh my God, this guy shouldn't be wrestling. It was more like you could just tell he was green. I mean, he got good at being a big, intimidating guy. I mean, they completely pulled that off tonight. I mean, like, it was almost like two different complete new people.
Right. And their music, so metal. Absolutely love it.
Oh my god, dude. Their music hit, I'm like, here they come. I just keep thinking it was like Megadeth. Like,
so that match went exactly the way I thought it would.
Yeah.
Exactly the way I hoped it would. Because, I mean, it needed to be a squash match.
Yeah.
It absolutely needed that. So I was thrilled about that.
I think it went a little longer than I thought it was going to be honest. I thought they were going to get in there and just completely utter, which they didn't really get any offense in. Not much.
Not much.
A little more. I thought I was like, oh, this might actually. Oh, never mind.
And it's gone.
Yeah. They got on there. They proved their point. And
right.
It'd be fun to see what they're going to do going down the road.
Like I said, Bludgeon Brothers Usos 2018 tag titles. That's all I'm saying.
I hope so.
So, then we had what I believe should have been the main event. Because if this show would have ended the way that match ended, the show would have ended on such a better high note. With the way that, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn against Shinsuke Nakamura and Randy Orton with both Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan as special guest referees. Where do I start with this? The flow of the way they were working the match with Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon at each other's throats most of the time because they couldn't figure out who was going to do what. I liked it because it showed that they're not trying to communicate because they're kind of at odds with each other.
Yeah.
So I liked that aspect of it. I liked Owens always getting in Shane's face, count faster, count faster. I thought the match worked well. And I absolutely cannot wait this match made me excited to see SmackDown. Because I want to see what Daniel Bryan is going to say as far as that fast count was concerned.
Yeah, because man, I was waiting for it. I was waiting for him to someone, because when Orton started to go after him, I'm like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, and I thought you might have been right with what you said on Twitter earlier tonight with WWE trusting Orton more than any of the other guys in the ring if Daniel Bryan were to take a bump.
Yeah.
I thought you were absolutely right about that. And I thought it may happen. I thought Bryan was going to catch an RKO.
he was backing really up all quick, man. I was like, oh, shit, here we go. I just kept playing through my head, because it's not that I think that they don't trust Owens or Nakamura, but neither one of them have been around like Randy has. Randy has been around. He's so ingrained in WWE, and they know him. He's so good. Like,
right.
He's so precise at what he does. I could absolutely see them going, okay, well, we're gonna take. But see, at the other hand, I keep going in the circular thing where it's like I can't see them being willing to take that chance unless he was cleared to wrestle. I could be wrong. There could be a gray area where it's like, well, he can get in the ring and do this as long as he's not actually, having
be physical to a point.
To a point, yeah. I guess that's maybe they finally met an impasse at that. I just have a hard time thinking that they're going to build. And they already kind of did that with the Miz and Daniel Bryan, where it was like you wanted to see that match. Like it's almost like you guys just worked yourself into a corner.
I really wanted to see that match. Are you talking about when Miz had that blow up promo on Talking Smack?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was one of the best promos I've ever seen.
That was when I went from like being like, yeah, Miz is pretty cool, to being like, yeah, Miz is the shit. Like he's a badass man.
Yeah.
because I'm like, surely they're like, where are they going with this? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I just, it's hard for me. Like I said, I keep going in a circle. It's hard for me to imagine they let him take a bump without him being cleared to wrestle. But like
Well,
I said,
and that's the thing is because Brian and Shane were getting into a shoving match.
Yeah.
So I thought something may happen there. And then you had Owens when he broke up that pin of, who was it? It was, I think it was Nakamura. No, it was Orton on Zayn.
Yes. Orton hit Zayn with the RKO. Shane with the go count it, and then
and Owens jumped in and knocked Brian over into Shane.
Yeah.
That was the extent of a bump that Brian took. But this match got me excited to see SmackDown because I feel like because I've heard through the dirt sheets that if Brian is going to wrestle, it's not going to be until SummerSlam. You think that's going to be the end of August? You're looking at basically a 9-month feud if that happens.
Now, do you think when they say that it'll be August, do you think that's for him getting in shape, or do you think that's like booking thing, like reasons?
No, I think that's for him getting back into ring shape.
Okay, that makes sense.
I really, really do. Well, because he's been out of the ring for at least a year.
Oh, at least. Oh, God, man. He's been gone for...
I can't remember the date of his actual retirement, but yeah, I mean, Brian quick counts for Zayn and Owens to pick up the win. I really want one of those Yep t-shirts.
Well, what was clever about it wasn't even like Daniel Bryan was just straight up taking their side. It was one of those situations that was done in just such a way to where there was enough ambiguity with both of them.
They made it look like it was to spite Shane.
Yeah. But if you look at it from Daniel Bryan's point of view, Bryan didn't do that on purpose. He got pushed into Shane. Shane's blowing up on. You know what I mean? You can look at it both ways and go, oh, well, and then when you look at it like that, it kind of makes, because then, Shane did what he did. It wouldn't count.
Right.
Well, it's like, okay, if you're not going to count fairly, then I'm just going to fucking,
Yeah, to spite Shane, he did the quick count.
Yeah.
And that's probably what we're going to hear on SmackDown this Tuesday. At least on WWE's version of SmackDown this Tuesday. On TGW's SmackDown this Tuesday, we don't know what's going to happen.
That's similar, but quite different chain of events there. You have to tune in to find out.
So, after that, we had the main event. AJ Styles defending the WWE Championship against, let me see if I can do this, the Maharaja. Wow, I was able to do it.
Nice.
Oh, my wife would love me for that. Just saying.
Giggity. Giggity. Giggity goo.
Giggity goo. Jinder Mahal. And it's like you said on Twitter, not emotionally invested in this match. Really didn't care.
Dude, they did a great job. I watched Jinder Mahal and I'm like, this dude's pretty good. Like
it was a good match. I'm not going to deny that. It was a good match.
It was
just I had a feeling that AJ was going to win because, again, I've heard through the grapevine that the big feud going into WrestleMania is going to be AJ and Nakamura.
Ooh.
Which I absolutely love because I really, truly believe that what that means is that Nakamura is going to win the Royal Rumble.
Ooh, man, that would be badass.
I truly believe that Nakamura is going to win the Rumble, and it's going to be he and AJ for the WWE title at WrestleMania, just like it's going to be Roman and Brock for the Universal title at WrestleMania, where Roman is finally going to kick out of the F5 and he's going to beat Brock.
See, I hope you're right about AJ. Okay? I think you're right about Brock, but I hope you're wrong. And I say that just because I just hope that they swerve everybody. Somehow, some way, they throw something in there where people are like, I would like one of them not to walk out champion, because I just, or not have that match, because everybody's been calling for that, not calling for it, but predicting that match.
Right.
2 years now? 3 years now? And it's almost, if it happens, no one's going to, it'll be a great match.
But it's not a surprise.
No. Everyone's like, oh yeah. Well, just like Triple H and Roman Reigns. Great match. No one gave a shit because, of course, Triple H is going to... What, Triple H is going to come off the semi-retirement and be a champion? You know what I mean? It's kind of the same thing with Kane. Them throwing Kane in there. It's like, well, what, is he going to win? Like, which I...
No. Kane, they're going to make that match at Royal Rumble a triple threat match between Brock... Okay, we're getting way off course here.
There's not much else... Dude, with the Ginger AJ match, look, it was a good match. No one really cared.
Nope.
Next. You want to see a good AJ? Watch the match. It was great.
AJ's still the champion. That's all I care about.
They told a great story with the ribs. They both did a great job.
That I liked. I did like them telling the story with the ribs. Because there's just not enough good storytelling like that in wrestling anymore.
Well, that's why I was digging. Kind of Bobby Roode was kind of playing up that back injury in the first match, and I was kind of digging that because he was really selling it, man. He was really up. I mean, that dude looks like he just broke his back. I mean, not broke his back. He probably couldn't do that, but you know what I mean. So, well, let's talk about that during SmackDown this week. We'll get Iggy on that one. That should be interesting.
Yeah.
To hear his perspective, because he's got this like completely weird third perspective. To me, it's like a completely odd, not in a bad way, just like.
I like having his perspective on stuff because he doesn't watch right now, so.
And because him and I are both, I mean, at least of the three of us, you definitely have the finger on the pulse of what's happening more. I'm starting to catch back up again, but obviously, as you can tell, even a lot of these feuds going in, I wasn't really, sure what... I seen SmackDown, most of it, So yeah. I knew some setups and stuff, but yeah, it was... what can I say?
I gotta keep my finger on the pulse of everything that's going on, man. I have seemingly my whole life. So let's go over this. Now, okay, there's one channel that I watch that gives ups and downs. So I can't copy them. So let's go match by match.
Okay.
And we'll say, oh, man, we probably should have thought this out before we started.
It's always funner just to wing it. Like
that's okay, because this is the first time. So.
Yeah. I was going to do a star rating for each match. I'm like, well, I don't know. We didn't really talk about that, and we didn't come up with a scale.
No, I wouldn't want to do... I wouldn't want to Meltzer it.
Yeah, I mean, it's done so much, man. Wrestling with Regret does that, too.
Yeah. Well, the Mojo match, I will give... I mean... Simply because I'm interested to see where they go with Mojo Rawley, I'm going to say that I enjoyed that match. Mm-hmm. So let's say that's 1-0. That's 1 good, 0 bad. The Dolph Ziggler title win. I liked it because no one expected it. Mm-hmm. So that's 2 goods to 0 bads. The tag match. You know, I'm not going to go either way on that because, I mean, like I said, well, actually, no. You know what? I will go. I'm going to go with a bad on that because the match was just chaotic. It made it more difficult to enjoy.
Sounded good on paper, maybe, but not in execution.
So we'll go with kind of a bad match. The women's match, bad match.
Charlotte tried, man. To give her credit.
Yeah. Bludgeon Brothers, great match. Loved it. The tag match, which, again, should have been the main event.
Yeah.
Good match. I love the story coming out of it. Good match. That's 4 goods to 2 bads with only 1 left. And obviously, since no one cared about the WWE title match, I'm going to go bad on that. So, overall, the score is 4-3 in favor of a good show.
So, not too bad. That's majority. That's almost right in the middle. So yeah. I mean, it could be a lot worse. Oh, let's see here. Well, I didn't see the opening match. I'm not the opening match, but the kickoff match. So I'll start here.
Right.
Okay, first match. I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. I thought it was a cool match. I liked the ending. I like all 3 people in it. The match was one of the few on the card that had any gravity at all to me, where I felt like it mattered. Like, I don't know. And I saw a little bit of the build-up for this one, and they seemed to be genuinely, like, irritated. Like, I want my chance. You know, they did a good job of building that one up to that degree anyway. So I'll say thumbs up. The second one, thumbs in the middle. Because... Oh, no, I'm sorry, this one's thumbs down. Wrong one. Like we just said, I think if you would say how that match went out loud, like, there's 4 people in the ring at the same time, and I think it sounds cool. But if they're gonna do that, they're gonna have to have normal rules as far as like countouts and stuff. Just because it was hard for me to go, why don't you all just get in the ring? Like, it's just, I don't know. I didn't care for the way it went off. Now, with that being said, there were a couple, good. I liked the ending of the match. I thought everybody worked well. There's some really good spots. There was one point where I thought Gable and Kofi actually kicked each other. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I'll have to go back and rewatch that.
Because Kofi, when Kofi, or was it the other way around? One of them hit the other one first. I'm like, man, that looked a little too snug. And then they did it, and then the other one hit the other one with a kick, and I'm like, whew. I don't know if that's just me or not, but they didn't seem to be hurt. They didn't seem to be mad, so I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to give that one thumbs down. I just didn't care for the concept. Wrestling was actually pretty good. It just was a little chaotic, like you said.
Right.
Charlotte and Natalya, thumbs down. Natalia's awful. A lot of the girls outside were awful. Some really good ones.
Charlotte and Naomi being great just couldn't save everybody else's failures.
No, dude, Charlotte... Lana, probably doesn't even need to be out there. I feel shameful to admit this, but I've seen a little bit of the Divas show. Because my mom's a freak out. My mom loves that show, dude. She's a wrestling fan. She has been since we've been. But she gets into that show, and I'll watch it with her sometimes. Little parts of it. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, but then you get wrapped up in it all of a sudden. You're like, oh man, what? Lana and Natalya are gonna go at you. But I don't know. She's not very good. And it just wasn't a very good match. It wasn't a good match, man. Charlotte couldn't save it, and Naomi couldn't save it. So that's a thumbs down on that one. So far, we got...
You got 1 to 2.
Okay. Bludgeon Brothers, thumbs up. It was what it was, man. They came out there, they saw, they kicked ass. Maybe I would have been a little more sad if I knew more about the Fashion Files, but I don't, so thumbs up. Kevin Owens match, man. I'm going thumbs in the middle. Here's why.
Really?
And this, I don't even know if I can explain this the way it is in my head. The way that Shane and Daniel Bryan did what they did was great. The way they pulled it off was great. The setup in order for them to get to that point was completely stupid. The two referees in the ring at the same time, I felt the same way about that as I did the tag team match. Where I'm like...
Now, see, let me counterpoint you, though. Because I felt... It's like I said, because they're at odds with each other. So they're just not speaking. So they didn't have a time... I mean, kayfabe, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
So they just didn't have time to communicate, and that's what they were trying to portray, that they're not getting along. And I thought that was portrayed very well.
Oh yeah, and that's why I'm saying I agree with you 100%. Like they really played that up. Like I don't know how to explain this. It's kind of like saying, man, wouldn't it be cool if we had a karate fight in a flaming building? Yeah, so we just go set a building on fire and then have our fight. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like it didn't. Their performance was great. The situation that needed to be created for that to happen. Now, I will be honest, after hearing your take on it, it does kind of change my perspective a little bit on the whole the not communicating thing. But like I said, I didn't think they did a bad job of pulling it off. It just, I had that same feeling where I was like, man, this just...
It basically just didn't do it for you personally.
Well, if you put it in the context of, okay, the other guy has to be in the ring to make sure he doesn't screw those guys over. And I guess I can dig that. That does make sense. That's why I gave it thumbs in the middle. Because, and maybe that's not even fair. I feel like if I give a thumbs up, I'm not being honest. And if I give a thumbs down, I'm not being honest. Because I didn't think it was a bad match. I think if you took that whole referee thing out of it and was watching the match, it was a good match. I would like to see those guys wrestle again.
Yeah.
The thing that they were trying to do, they accomplished flawlessly. I just didn't like the scenario in which they had to do to get where they were going. But it wasn't like it was completely irrational and illogical. I mean, it makes sense. I had that same feeling of like, man, get out of the way and let them wrestle. Maybe that was my problem. I was really excited to see these four guys wrestle.
Now, see, when you say that, I totally get your point.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, yeah, you guys don't like each other. Get out of the way. You know what I mean? Like,
I totally get your point.
But, I mean, dude, it served its purpose, and it did come off the way it was supposed to. I mean, and like I said, I can dig it. You know, looking at it from the perspective of, like I said, them not communicating and stuff, and where they're supposed to be at with each other. It makes sense. It completely, utterly makes sense. It just hit me the wrong way. I just was kind of like, oh my god, like. So yeah, thumbs in the middle. And you know what, dude? Same thing with the ending match. I give it thumbs in the middle, just because, once again, as far as giving a shit, and you could have completely missed this. And maybe that's not fair. I don't know what they're going to do going forward. We really don't know for sure, but I have a hard time seeing they're going to continue on the Jinder Mahal thing very strongly.
I don't see that.
Yeah.
I don't see them. I see Jinder being pushed down the card and probably not even in the U.S. title picture. He's probably going to get jobbed out again.
Yeah, so it was almost like you could have missed this match and it didn't matter. But it was a good match. So for me to give it a thumbs down, I guess it really depends on what your scale is judging, too. You know, like, for effectiveness and an emotional response, it's a 100% thumbs down. I mean, I didn't give a shit at all.
But the actual content of the match was good.
Yeah, I think I was impressed by Jinder Mahal. And hey, I was trying to be fair, because I was trying to keep a perspective of AJ is really good at making anybody look good. So I was trying to watch Mahal in terms of like what he was really doing and the way he followed the psychology, the physical things he was doing, I liked it. I hope he stays, if not in the championship race, then at least like the Intercontinental, or they don't have the Intercontinental in that show right now, but the U.S. title or something, because he's good. He's a good wrestler, you know. But yeah, you could have missed this match and it never would have mattered.
Well, and Triple H has been quoted as saying that there may be NXT is really going to start being treated as more like a third brand instead of just developmental, and there may be guys being sent to NXT, and that they shouldn't see it as a demotion, just a change of environment. So maybe Jinder Mahal will go to NXT and become the NXT champion. And you know what? I'd be totally okay with it.
Yeah, man, because he would still be in a prominent position, especially if they're trying to launch it as more of a separate show. Then that would be even more to be the guy to give a chance to prove yourself in that spot and really carry that show. I mean, man,
right.
What else can you ask for? He's already been WWE champion.
Right.
So, so dude, overall, I gotta tell you, my overall thing on the show, thumbs down. I mean, I guess if you're looking at my score, it was me and you we pretty much hit dead in the middle.
Yeah.
With our scores, but to give it from a full grade, I had to go thumbs down, just because you can utterly miss this pay-per-view, and with the exception of the stuff that happened with Shane and Daniel.
Exactly. I was just going to say that same thing.
My brother said it best, man. It's like, sounds like just an episode of SmackDown.
It really was.
Yeah. Not even I've seen better episodes of SmackDown. I hate to say it, you know what I mean? But shit. So hey, they can't all be winners. Survivor Series. I almost think we should retroactively go back and do that one.
You know what? I wouldn't be mad about that. I would be happy to go back and watch it again.
That would be fun.
And review it.
We'll get that set up, because that would be a good time. It
was such a good show.
Yeah. I just want to watch it again. So yeah, we'll work on that one, and I mean, unless we decide to do any more Royal Rumble, be on the lookout. We're gonna be on. I don't know how we're gonna do that. I'll probably just set it up on the OBS and just be watching through the Royal Rumble matches.
Yeah.
Just sit there and watch them and go along. I think that'd be fun. Now, granted, if you're gonna watch all of them, I'm not gonna be able to be on there. You know what I mean?
But it's like I said, I'll probably go back and watch them all. And what I would like to do, like, you could go back and maybe watch like some high spots or look up some highlights or whatever, because I know you don't have nearly as much time as I do. And do a podcast specifically on the Royal Rumble match and its history.
Oh, I'd love to do that, because I have plenty to say about Survivor Series. Would be another good one too down the road.
Oh, absolutely.
The evolution, because man, I don't care what Vince McMahon says. I love the elimination matches, and I hated that they took them away as the main. I mean, granted, they had like 3 of them this year, right? 4?
Yeah.
3, 4?
Something like that.
So I guess they didn't completely go away. But you know what I mean? Like.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I'm down.
Oh, okay, ladies and gentlemen.
It's about that time.
That has been our WWE Clash of Champions 2017 review. Please make sure to follow us on Twitter at ThoseGuys734. Like us on Facebook at Facebook.com/TGWrestling. And now you can find us on YouTube if you search Those Guys Wrestling. And once we get to 100 subscribers, we can get a custom URL.
YouTube's always a tricky one, man. Because that URL they give you before then is just incomprehensible to even try to... It's like
it's like binary.
Characters. Yeah. It's like the kind of...
11001011.
That's youtube.com/01KML lowercase j. I should write it down. I'm going to do that one night. Follow us on YouTube at youtube.com.
You'll be sitting there for 20 minutes talking the address out.
And that one faithful soul that is brave enough to actually look it up will be rewarded.
You ain't lying.
But in order to hear that, you're going to have to tune back in. We'll be back Tuesday night at 10.
Yep.
With an episode of SmackDown. Wednesday night at 9 with a new episode of TGW Raw.
Week 2 of May. We are working toward Extreme Rules.
Come in and hang out and join us. We're just getting going. The machine's just starting to turn. We got so many cool storylines coming up and stuff. It's a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Stop in, discuss wrestling, and chit-chat with us. We'll hope to see you there.
Indeed.
So until next time, I am OddSmith311.
And I am Evil Penguin Gaming.
And we are TGW, and we will see you we'll see you later. I already said that.
Bye!
Have a good night, everybody.